Any rate, my thoughts for the day on that 37D. I think, well, I shouldn't say I think. I'm fairly certain that it's a faster cycle time than the Wolfe Ridge 35 SHO. I believe that's due to the piston pump that the 37D runs. So, a little different hydraulic system, still the same concept, but a much quicker return stroke, and I'm not sure if it's the diesel engine or just the way the piston pump operates. There seems to be less bogging down. Could be just the quality of rounds that we had, but it seems the 35 show struggles just a little bit more. It's more of a even push, I guess, on the 35 SHO from Wolfe Ridge. The 37D does a really good job as well. That's just overall faster, I think. And as far as cycle time goes, if you're looking for speed, that'd be pretty hard to beat. My concern with it is that it's probably a little too fast to be really safe. You really got to know what's going on and be paying attention. The other thing that I didn't necessarily like about the 37D, although you could probably get used to it, is the beam is quite a bit lower than the 35 show from Wolfe Ridge. So the beam on the 37D felt like it was about mid-thigh, maybe 8 inches above your knee. So quite low compared to the Wolfe Ridge. The beam on that, on the SHO models, so on the trailerable models, or the highway speed models, SHO and HO models, the beam on the Wolfe Ridge is 34 inches. The beam on the 37D from Eastonmade is probably 30 inches, maybe a little less. So working height is considerably different on both machines. It just depends on what you like better. For me, I'm 6 foot, and I prefer the higher working level. You probably don't have quite as much strength at chest high that you do at waist high, but the idea of running the box wedge and not manipulating the rounds, I don't feel like that's a huge downside. Sometimes you struggle with them a little bit, but I think it's more that they're getting caught up on the beam, or the little edges or something like that is getting caught. With the 37D, you end up leaning over and bending more, I think, if you're going to manipulate rounds. As far as the conveyor goes on the 37D, that worked very slick, although I think, and I didn't pay terribly close attention to this, but if you look at Back 40's channel, he could tell you more. A lot of your scrap, the fine stuff drops, I think, through the connection point between the splitter and the conveyor, but a fair amount of the trash winds up going up the conveyor and into your pile. Whereas on the Wolfe Ridge, with the sorting table extension and the grooves that are cut out in the tabletop, a lot of that slash drops down to where that trailer, I want to say dolly or trailer jack is. So you can see over there in the front of the skid loader, we've got, another, and that was not heaping full, but that's a 2-yard bucket. We did 2.5 face cords today with the box wedge and the 12-way. We wound up with quite a bit of scrap, but we also got 2.5 face cords of really high quality firewood. So I think we'll try the box wedge for bundle wood, for fireplace, for home heating, It's just a good all-around wedge, and arguably I would say that the 12-way produces more scrap than the box wedge does. The box wedge creates a bunch of feathers that could be used as kindling, I think. There's quite a few longer pieces there over in the bucket there. You guys are looking through the flames here, so a little distorted, but there's some longer pieces in there that are definitely kindling worthy to get a fire going. Whereas the 12-way just makes mulch, or a lot closer to that. So, at any rate, I just wanted to kind of cover my thoughts on the Eastonmade. Put out a couple of videos from Back 40's Firewood Fest. Kind of held back the Eastonmade stuff because I only had, well, as you guys saw earlier in the video, there's only just a couple minutes of it. But it was fun to run. That was kind of the extent of my running it. I did consider, full disclosure, I did consider an Eastonmade before going with Wolfe Ridge. And the model I was looking at was the 2228. Probably it would have been the gas engine, not the diesel, but the diesel might have been a possibility. What stopped me from going Eastonmade, and as I record this, it's 12th of November, and if I were to order an Eastonmade last year around Christmas time, I still wouldn't have it. When I called to make the order, they were 13-14 months out. So Eastonmade was 12 to 14 months lead time. Wolfe Ridge was about 6 months, and for me they were local, USA made, and just willing to innovate, willing to work with you. So that's why I went with Wolfe Ridge. But maybe someday there's a Eastonmade Ultra in my future. Would be nice to have something to resplit some of the box wedge pieces with, or just something that cycles faster for smaller pieces, limb wood and that kind of stuff that you don't want to necessarily fire the box wedge up for. So, at any rate, I think that's gonna about do it, guys. You can see Onyx is over there hiding behind the skid loader. He's a little more shy than Izzy. Have a great day around the yard.